Okay, so we're going to be working on problems 2, 3, 4, and 5 was for tonight's homework. We did everything else today in class, so if you did not finish it, this is your opportunity of getting it done or to check your work. Let's go to number 2. The souvenir shop at the Park City Zoo received a shipment of new t-shirts. Each shirt originally cost $12. I just noticed my pencil is broken. Each shirt cost originally $12, but it would be sold for $15 in the souvenir shop. So what is the percent of markup of shirts? So this is what we're looking for. Now remember in class on the anchor chart, what's the first thing that you need to do? Now what I'm going to do is just transfer the information over to notebook paper and then go back and then keep referencing. So this is for question number 2. Step 1 was to draw the table. Step 2 is to label the table. Now remember we said we were going to do O, N, and percent. The O represents original number. The N represents the new number. And of course percent is what we're looking for. So I'm coming back into my story. What is my original number? Well, it even says original cost is $12. It'll be sold for $15. That's my new. And what is the percent? And that's X. So the next thing that I need to do is subtract. So that is going to be step 3. So now I'm going to have, because I was doing a markup, it's 15 minus 12, and that equals 3. Now that I have that, the 4th step is to set up. So this is step 1 and 2. This is step 3. Now 4 is set up, so now I'm going to have the difference. Remember, the answer to a subtraction problem is called the difference. And now I'm going to move this over just so that I have that right. So it's the difference over the original number. Now that everything is labeled, and I'm going to have my fraction bar equals fraction bar, this is over 100. I can use my information now to plug in. The difference is 3. The original number is 12, and I'm trying to find, because my percent goes up here, and I'm going to have that being my X. All right, now the next thing I need to do is ask myself, can I simplify? And yes, I can. So I know that 3 is divisible by itself, and also 3 can go into 12. So this becomes, and I'm going to move all of this over to this side. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 12 divided by 3 is 4. And I have X over 100. And you can see I just took this information and brought it over as I simplified. If you're wanting to, you can just move it together as a group and then simplify. Now, the next question, can I multiply 4 by something to get to 100? And the answer is yes. I can multiply that by 25. If you want to cross multiply, you're more than welcome to cross multiply. So here, this got to 100, so X is equal to 25%. Again, if you're wanting to cross multiply, it'll be 4X equals 100, and then it's anything to the left of the X is divided by that number. And so it's 100 divided by 4. This cancels out to 1. And so X is equal to 4 goes into 125. And so you can still see you're getting the same answer. All right, remember to pause the video at any time so that you can catch up. I'm going quickly because it's time that I'm looking at. Question number 3. Okay, Calendar Haven is having a mid-year sale. For the month of July, a calendar regularly priced at $15 is on sale for $9. What percent is the markdown? Okay, so now, first thing that I'm going to do is what? Very good, draw my table. Even though your brain is starting to pick up what it needs to and you want to immediately go into calculations, don't do it yet. Just because you can run a little bit doesn't mean you're ready for the marathon, right? So I need you to continue to practice because sometimes it can get very confusing on more of the complex questions. O is for original, N is for new, and percent. I am looking over here and it said that for the month of July, the regular price is $15, which is my original. My new number then is 9, and I'm looking for what percent. So it's 9, and what percent would be the X. Now that I've created my table, I've labeled it, and I've plugged in my numbers, I'm going to do what next? So this is step 1 and 2. Step 3 is, very good, subtract. So I'm going to subtract 15 because it's a markdown, minus 9. What's 15 minus 9? Good job, it's 6. 6 is the difference. And remember, difference is the answer to a subtraction problem. Next thing I'm going to do is step 4. I'm going to set up my percent proportion, which is the difference over the original, and I just put diff for difference. And that equals to the line equals, and I'm just going to do percent over 100, and I'm going to bring this down over here. So I'm going to rewrite difference over original. Now, one of the students in class, so this I want to the acronyms, the ON percent. Hats off to Chloe in 8th period who came up with that, so I kind of took her idea. And then this part right here goes out to Lewis in 6th period where he said, oh, I'm just going to write D over O. Which makes sense, right? So it's the difference over O. So if you want to do that, you can do that as well. So the difference is 6 over 15 equals X over 100. All right, can I simplify this? So step 5 is asking your questions. Can this be simplified? Well, yes, it can. They're each divisible by 3. So 6 divided by 3 is, very good, it's 2. 5 divided by 3 is 5, because 5 times 3 is 15. 2 times 3 is 6, equals X over 100. Now my next step then is, can I multiply anything by 5 to get to 100? And I can do that. If you're wanting to cross multiply, you can cross multiply. But this is what the next step, so it's 5 times what? I know 5 times 20, and now it's going to be 2 times 20. So X is equal to 40%. And there you go. Again, if you feel more comfortable with cross multiplying, I'm going to rewrite it at 2/5 times X over, not times, I don't want to put times, it's equal, over 100. I'm going to cross multiply here, which is 5X, equals cross multiply here. 2 times 100 is 200. Okay, the value of X, everything to the left of the X, divide that by that number. 200 divided by that same number like I just did. So this is equal to 1. So X is equal to 5 goes into 24 times. 5 goes into 0, 0. So I still get my 40%. All right. Again, pause it for so you can catch up or understanding. Make sure that you do questions 4 and 5 independently and see if you come up with the same thing. So pause it, do 4 and 5, and then come back to see if it's right. All right, so let's go to question 4. A clothing store sells a variety of winter coats. The store pays $50 for a certain parka and then marks it up to $65. What percent is the markup? And that's a reality, guys. That's I think that on fine clothing like at Macy's and your other fine places, I can't think off the top of my head, it's late in the evening, they have a higher markup. But let's just see what this markup is. Step 1, what do? I'm going to draw up my table. And I'm going to label O for original, N for new, and my percent sign. Okay, now that it's labeled, I'm going to do step 2, and that's to plug in my numbers. So my original number is 50, my new number is 65, and what percent is X? Step 3, very good, I will subtract. So because it's a markup, it's 65 minus 50, and that is at 15. Step 4, set it up. So I'm going to have, thinking back on what was said, my difference over the original. If you're wanting to write it out, it's difference over the original. That's up to you. Fraction bar equals percent over 100. Now I'm going to fill this in. So I'm going to have D over O equals, my difference was 15 because this is the answer to, very good, a subtraction problem. Over my original number is 50 equals X over 100. Okay, can I simplify this? I could, right? I can simplify, but I can also, well, let's go ahead and simplify. 15 divided by 5 is 3, over 50 divided by 5 is 10, equals X over 100. How many groups of 10 can go into 100? So it's times 10, 3 times 10. So X is equal to 30%. All right, so it was a 30% markup. Most stores have 130% markup or 200% markup. But this one is only doing an increase of 30%. All right, the next one. Last problem, number 5. All right, remember you should have already done 5 and then come back to check. So read together. Vincent found a new scooter for $64, but he waited until it went on sale to buy it. If he bought the scooter for $56, what was the percent markdown? Okay, now we're looking at markdown. So step 1, what is step 1? Very good. Draw the table. And label. So I have my original, my new number, and my percent. I'm going to do step 2, which is plug in my numbers. So here, the scooter was $64. If he weighed it, he paid $56, and we need to find the percent markdown. Okay, and there we go. Step 3, what do? Very good. Step 3 is subtract. So I have my 64 minus 56, and it becomes 8. All right. Now step 4. And remember, this is my difference. I'm going to put DIFF for diff. So here I have my diff over my original. I'm going to write out my problem here, which is going to be equal to fraction bar over fraction bar, which is percent over 100. And now I'm going to bring this down over here. D over O equals, my difference is 8. So it's 8 over the original, it's 64, equals X over 100. All right. So now, can I simplify this? Yeah, I sure can. 8 goes into 8 one time. 64 divided by 8. So I have 1 over 8 equals X over 100. Is there anything I can multiply by 8 to get to 100? I don't think so. 8 can go into 10 once with 2 left over, but 8 cannot go into 20. So I'm kind of done there. So now I'm going to just cross multiply. I have 8X equals, and I got this one here from the multiplication from Kimberly in 8th period. So I think that was really clever if you wanted to put the multiplication symbol in the middle to remind you you're multiplying that. So 1 times 100 equals 100. Now, everything to the left of the X, I'm going to divide by that number. And so here I'm dividing 100 divided by 8. These make 1, cancel each other out, X equals, now I'm going to divide. So 8 goes into 100, 8 goes into 10 one time, that's 10, 0, it's not 10, it's 8. I was trying to rush it through and made it boo-boo. Brings down my 2, I have to check, is my difference, because it's the answer to a subtraction problem, less than my divisor, which is the number I'm dividing into the dividend. Now I have my 0. 8 goes into 20 twice, so it's 2 groups. So 2 times 8 is 16. Subtract that out. How far am I away from 20? It's 4. Because I'm out, I'm going to place my decimal and bring that straight up to add a 0. I'm running out of pencil lead. And bring this down now. All right, now 8. How many groups of 8 go into 40? And that's 5, because 5 times 8 is equal to 40. And so now X has a value of 12.5% or 12.5%. And when it comes to sale items, you're more likely to see it like this as a decimal rather than a fraction. But you may see it either way, right? It could be or 12.5%. But see, at stores, we don't usually see it like that. We see it like this. But sometimes it doesn't, you never know. But I'm going to keep it as a decimal. And that's it for this evening. Please make sure that the work that you have is attached to here and have that ready to turn in. You do have your small quiz, your CFA tomorrow, and then we are going to be reviewing the rest of this week before moving into similar shapes, because your district end of the unit test is on the 30th and the 31st. All right, I will see y'all tomorrow. Have a great night.